Let me tell you a story. It's all about so-called perfect immigrant, the one who follows every law, fills out every form correctly, pays all their fee and patiently waits for their turn. But you know what? Here's a twist. America's system make it almost impossible for this perfect immigrant to exist. And now, Donald Trump's campaign promises of mass deportation threaten to ripple families apart and cost the US economy billions. So, let's break it down. First, let's talk about the numbers. The US immigration system is buried under massive backlog. At the end of fiscal year 2023, there were 2.46 million pending cases. Yes, you heard it right, million. These aren't people breaking the law. Many of them are trying to do it the right way. Now take visas for example. If you are an unmarried child of a US citizen from Mexico, one of the highest priority category, your application might finally be reviewed after 20 years. Imagine waiting 2 decades for the chance to join your family. That's the reality of those who applied in 2004 and are just now being considered. Then the financial burden is another roadblock. Immigration filing fees can range from $250 to $1,440 per form. And often you need to file multiple forms, sometimes repeatedly. Add to this the cost of hiring a lawyer, an expense many families cannot afford. And you're looking at a process that's out of the reach for most. And yet, studies show that immigrants with legal representation are far more likely to succeed in their cases. Without a lawyer, your chances are null. Now, let's address a hard truth. The system is so broken that it pushes many to break the law out of desperation. Common violation includes using fake documents to get a job or entering sham marriages to speed up the process. These aren't hardened criminals. They are people trying to feed their family while stuck in a system that could take decades to resolve. Well, things don't stop there. Even minor mistakes like missing a deadline for reviewing work authorization can turn an otherwise law-abiding immigrant into a target for deportation. Then comes the economic reality. Here's where it gets even more complicated. Immigrants, including undocumented ones, are essential to the US economy. Back in 2022, undocumented households paid $35.1 billion in taxes. That's money funding schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. Yet these same people are vilified, even as industries like agriculture and construction rely on their labor. If Trump were to carry out this plan for mass deportation, it would cost the US over $300 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. On the top of that, deporting million would create worker shortage, driving up grocery prices and leaving businesses scrambling to fill position. Despite the chaos that it would cause, this riotic resonates with many Americans. Some believe the myth that undocumented immigrants are lawbreakers who refuse to follow the rules. Others genuinely think deporting illegals will create more opportunities for the citizens. But here's a catch. Many of these voters, including Latinos, don't realize how flawed the system is. In 2024, Trump gained 14% point more Latino support as compared to 2020. It's a complex issue rooted in misinformation and fear. But fixing this broken system seems like an obvious solution, right? But bipartisan attempts at reform have failed for decades. Even lawmakers admit that they struggle to navigate the immigration process's complexity. Policies that were considered reasonable and compassionate in the 1980s, like the Refugee Act or the Immigration Reform and Control Act, are now seen as radical. Today, both sides are stuck, and while they argue, millions of families live in limbo. Now, let's not forget the human cost. Now, when Trump says that he will deport lawbreakers, many people don't realize how broadly that net can cast. The father who used a fake social security number to get a job could be turned away from his children. A mother who overstayed her visa while waiting for a green card could face deportation. Now, these aren't faceless crimes. They are neighbors, co-workers, and even friends. So, in the end, the next time if you hear somebody saying immigrants should just follow the law, ask them this: how can they when the system is designed to fail them? America's immigration process is broken, and it's time that we stop blaming the people caught in its web. After all, the perfect immigration does not exist. Not because immigrants are trying, but because America won't let them. For more such interesting videos, do follow TimesXP.